My sister betrayed me with my fiancé, so I exposed them on my wedding day, and even now it sounds unreal. But 2 weeks before my wedding, I saw a late-night message pop up on his phone that said, "She can't find out yet," and the name on the screen was my sister's. And in that moment everything inside me just went quiet. Because I didn't want to believe it. I kept telling myself it had to be about the wedding. Maybe a surprise, maybe something harmless. But something didn't feel right, so I opened the chat. And what I found wasn't just one message. It was months of lies, late-night calls, secret meetups, inside jokes, plans to see each other when I was busy working or handling wedding stress. And the deeper I scrolled, the clearer it became that this wasn't a mistake. This was something they both chose, something they built behind my back. And the worst part wasn't even him, it was her, my own sister. The same person who helped me pick my wedding dress, who sat next to me while I cried about stress, who told me everything would be perfect. And then I saw the message that stayed in my head. "I wish it was me marrying you." And I remember just staring at that line, feeling nothing at first. No tears, no anger, just emptiness. Because it's hard to process that level of betrayal all at once. And instead of confronting them, instead of creating a scene they could lie their way out of, I made a decision. I would wait. I would let them feel safe. And I would expose everything at the one moment they would never expect. So for the next 2 weeks I acted completely normal. I smiled. I laughed. I continued planning the wedding like nothing had changed. I sat with them, talked to them, even hugged my sister knowing exactly what she was doing. And somehow that was the hardest part. Pretending everything was fine while carrying the truth alone. And the scary thing was they had no idea. They were comfortable, careless, acting like they'd already gotten away with everything. And I let them believe that, because I wanted them unprepared. And then the wedding day finally came. Everything looked perfect. The decorations, the lights, around 200 guests smiling, celebrating what they thought was a perfect love story. And there I was standing at the altar, looking calm, even though I already knew how it was going to end. And for a brief second, I thought about staying silent, about just going through with it and dealing with it later. But then every message, every lie came rushing back. And I knew I couldn't. So when the priest asked, "Does anyone object?" I said, "Yeah, I do." And at first people laughed, thinking it was part of the ceremony. But when they saw my face, the room started to go quiet. And without saying anything else, I connected my phone to the projector and pressed play. And suddenly everything stopped. Messages, photos, call logs started appearing on the screen. And you could feel the shock spread across the room. People leaning forward, whispering, trying to understand what they were seeing. And then her voice played, "After the wedding, we won't have to hide anymore." And that was the moment everything broke. My fiancé's face went pale, like he couldn't even process what was happening. My sister started crying, begging me to stop, trying to come closer, saying my name over and over. But I stepped back, because at that point, they didn't feel like family or love anymore. They felt like strangers. The guests were whispering, some recording, others just frozen. My parents looked completely shattered. And in the middle of all that chaos, I felt calm, because I'd already gone through the worst part alone. And this was just the truth catching up. So I looked at both of them and said, "Don't worry. Now you don't have to hide." And I took off my ring, dropped it on the stage, and walked out without crying, without shouting, without giving them anything. Because silence in that moment was louder than anything I could have said. And later that day I blocked them both, packed my things, and left everything behind without looking back. And a week later I found out he cheated on her too. And honestly, that didn't even surprise me. It just confirmed everything. And that's when I realized something that gave me real peace. I didn't lose my fiancé or my sister that day. I lost the illusion of who I thought they were. And as painful as that was, it also saved me. Because now I'm not building my life on lies anymore.